I'm Jeff Koinange, and this is Jeff Koinange live on the road in Thika, right off the Garissa Highway. You know, if it's Thursday, it's all about inspiration. All this week, we've been concentrating on one thing and one thing only: agriculture. We took you to a dairy farm, took you to a coffee farm yesterday. Today, a Koinange chicken farm. All these chickens, 1,500 in total, are Koinange, born and raised and bred right here on this farm. But that's not the story. You need to listen to Caleb Karuga's story, because his story is one of pure inspiration. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Twitter handles are @Caleb Karuga, @Koinange Jeff. The hashtag Ukulima Sio Ushamba. Start tweeting. Jeff Koinange live on the road begins right now. Caleb, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too.
From journalist to farmer.
You know.
Oh my.
I'm mad.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, sir.
So is it true, while you were still at K24, you were dabbing in this, you were experimenting?
One day I went to do a story in Tala, a few kilometers from here. And I used to say I want to be a poultry farmer. You know, they keep saying one day I'll become a poultry farmer. Yeah. And after I was interviewing actually a witch doctor. I remember very well.
In Tala?
In Tala.
Yes.
When I was done with my show, I saw a couple of chicken at Tala market. I bought 1 cock and 2 hens and took them to the farm same day. And that's how I started farming.
That was it?
That was it. It had to be done. I had to start. Then I went to pig farming while I still at that station I was working.
Right.
I don't know they can mention that.
Yes,
that
we can.
station.
It's okay.
Oh, yeah, at K24.
Yes.
So I bought 3 pigs and they grew. They were doing
Are the
well.
chickens still breeding? Are they?
They're still breeding.
Okay, good, good.
But I'm enjoying the taste of the Koinange eggs. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? Let's scale it up. So I started buying chicken from all over, from Meru, from Gidonguru, from all over. And that was my biggest mistake.
Mixing?
Mixing. Because I was buying chicken of different ages and from different regions. Some of them had diseases.
Right.
I lost 200 birds in a span of 1 week from Newcastle.
Oh.
Yes. But you see, I didn't feel it because I've got a safety net. I'm employed.
Yes.
So I'm okay. Let's do it again. I went to Karuga and I got my first 500-day-old chicks. I haven't gone through any training. I don't know how to take care of these babies. But let's put them in a room and let's feed them. And at the end of 1 month, I lost 120.
No.
But I was told they died. I didn't see any that died, but I was told by my employee
that they died.
That they died. However, one of the evenings I was taking a walk in the neighborhood, I'm seeing some chicken. I'm like, whoa, wait, this chicken look like mine, same age. What happened?
Right.
So I asked this lady, so where did you get this chicken? She doesn't know me. So she tells me, there's a farm down here. I will show you where we buy a month-old chick at 50 shillings.
God.
And I bought a day-old at 100 shillings. I've fed it for a month and a half. My employee is selling my month-old chick at 50 shillings. So we came with the woman to my farm. And she said, hey, XYZ, kuja uzie u customer, fanyie bei yangu.
Na ni wewe?
And I'm the owner of the farm.
Oh.
Yes.
Because they knew you're in Nairobi, you have a job, you never come and monitor.
Exactly. And that's where we go wrong. You're thinking the telephone farming is going to work for you. It could work for you to a certain point, but it needs your constant supervision.
Yeah.
So for me as a journalist, I said, you know what, it can't work like this.
So what was the determining point? When did you decide, you know what, I can do this? This could be my full-time job.
I think that was in 2012. Business was speaking well. Or so I thought it was.
By the way, how are the pigs doing at that time?
They had all died. They reached, I think, 160.
Yeah.
Total disaster. Because I was insisting on 100% commercial feeds. So I don't know, my employee, whether he was selling some of the feeds that were emaciated. I don't know what was happening. They would farrow, that's give birth. But then you are told only 5, survived. This no way of ascertaining that, because that time you're out of the country doing a story somewhere.
Yes.
So when you come back 2 weeks later, you can't even tell what went wrong.
No.
So of course the pig business just went like that. The chicken business was speaking like I was saying, but as a journalist, I was okay. I was enjoying what I was doing. I loved what I used to do. But then I wasn't, that was not my area of passion, my area of calling. That wasn't my purpose. And one day I was listening to a song, I think you were still in the studio that time, by a lady called Stacey Orico. She says, there's gotta be more to life than chasing down this empty temporal high to satisfy me.
Wow.
That song was my breaking point, Jeff.
Wow.
Because as a journalist, if this show is not good, you're pushing for next week to have a better show. You live for the ratings.
Correct.
If you're a reporter, if you're not top story, top number 5 stories, you're not doing so well.
No.
So day 1, day 2, you're not top number 5, you're not a good reporter. So we were all pursuing or chasing to be that top reporter. But that's an empty, it's a temporal high. It gives you a high when your story is number 1. It gives you a high when you get retweets. It gives you a high when people call and SMS the studio. You feel like I'm doing good.
And then what?
And then what? You're empty. I remember you told me you're not as popular as you think you are. You told me you're only as good as your last story.
Correct.
I'm like, but I'm not meant to chase this. That's not me. My purpose is to get people to stop practicing agriculture. Yes, I don't want people to practice agriculture, Jeff. I want people to get into agribusiness. In Swahili we say, wacha kufanya kilimo, fanya kilimo biashara. I was doing agriculture. I was doing sentimental farming. As long as I have 2 chicken, 100 chicken, and a cow or 2, I'm okay.
You can call yourself a farmer.
Anyone can call themselves a farmer. But the transition between being a farmer in agriculture to agribusiness, I took time. Now when I realized now I'm into agribusiness, I thought, you know what, I want to train other people. I want to bring other people on board into agribusiness.
Yes.
And that song, I cannot chase an empty temporal high. Let me get into serious farming. I thought, you know what, let me quit this thing.
Wow.
I couldn't quit because you're still afraid.
Yeah.
And many people are afraid to make that step to
because
move.
you have overheads.
Because you got overheads.
Rent, there's family, there's
and you got this. You're comfortable because at the end of the day, I'll be paid a salary. But then I started praying. You know what? I want to be fired because I don't have the courage to resign.
To walk away.
I want to be fired. So I went to HR and I asked around how much, if I was to be fired, how much would you guys pay me? I was told for every year you've worked, half a year's salary. I'm like, I'm liking what I'm hearing, keep talking. And for 3 months I was praying every morning, God, today I want to go to the office and I want to be fired. Every morning I'll pray for 3 months. And I think my prayers was answered to a point they overflowed to other 72 of us. We were all fired on the same day, 72 people. Wow. We were laid down. I was actually declared redundant. And that was the happiest day of my life.
You mean you weren't depressed?
I got a check and I was laughing. We were at Leland Towers. And they got counselors to counsel us, you've been fired, we're so sorry. They were laughing. They thought I was reacting to shock.
Right. They thought you were in denial.
Yes. I'm going home. I'm going to my farm right now to deposit this check. And that for me was the starting point of now thinking you're going to make it, but I failed miserably because I had the money. So I started doing some projects that really didn't make sense.
I see.
Because I would read articles. Former banker in Embu quit farming as now has a quarter of an acre and is doing watermelon farming. Former World is doing what and they are now making $1 million. I thought, how maybe this person is making those millions?
Yes.
So I got into catfish farming in a greenhouse. Total disaster, Jeff.
Catfish?
Yes. We do not have a culture of consuming catfish.
No, we don't.
We have tilapia.
Correct.
We know tilapia.
Correct.
But I wanted to be this unique farmer, former journalist now doing catfish.
Yes.
I don't want to be associated with tilapia. No. That's so, backward.
Yes.
I tried rabbits because I want to be unique. Total disaster. From the construction of the structure, they had pneumonia. They died.
Oh, how many?
There were about 30. They're not so many. About 30.
All died?
All died. I did strawberry farming because I love strawberry. I love myself a strawberry shake.
Okay.
And people would come to my farm. Who is this former journalist who was fired, who's now doing well in farming? They would come and I'm showing them around my Kikuyu farm and they're seeing the strawberries. And I'm asking them, guys, do you know what you call this? They're like, we don't know. I'm like, guys, this is strawberry farm. You've never seen strawberries? Have a fruit or two. But at the end of the day, they'll ask me, do you have managu? I'm like, focus, guys. I brought you to a strawberry farm. Focus. The common denominator is everybody wants to eat managu and spinach. No one is going to eat ugali and strawberry for dinner.
No.
That was the harsh reality.
There you go.
So I had to uproot my strawberries and I did managu.
And?
And it's doing well. I wish I knew this back in 2010 when I began farming.
You'd have done just managu?
Just managu and spinach. Or a couple of chickens.
Seriously?
Yes. Yes.
Are people, when people go into greenhouses, greenhouse farming, one thing they go into is tomatoes
And capsicums.
and capsicums, yes.
I have a problem with that, and I know I'm going to get into trouble with very many people.
Yeah.
It's okay. Permission to speak freely. There's a lot of, and it's good to talk about climate-smart agriculture. Let's get into greenhouse farming. It's beautiful. It's a good thing. My problem is this: we are telling young people to get into farming. We direct them to the nearest bank. They go get a loan or from the youth fund. Yeah. They have read somewhere a guy who is selling capsicums is making $1 million a month. So they think they'll be the next millionaire. They get a greenhouse plant, but then they don't know where they're going to sell. They don't know their dynamics. That is, right now, Jeff, as you're speaking, if you buy sukuma wiki or spinach, you're given a bucket of tomatoes. You know that? For free. A month and a half ago, a tomato was 10 shillings. One. Right now, where I supply in Togoto, I supply spinach. I sell spinach and managu. They give me tomatoes for free. And other customers. Because there's an overflow of tomatoes. Because everyone went to greenhouse farming. They don't understand the dynamics.
And there's not enough of managu or spinach.
Because it's not sexy enough, Jeff. It's not cool enough to do managu and terere and sage and other traditional vegetables. It's not cool enough. You're not with it.
Yeah.
To be with it, you got to have a greenhouse. That's why I keep saying, at times, greenhouse farming is like a beauty contest. You want to show off you got the best and the most modern greenhouse kit. But all of you have the same product. Capsicums and tomatoes. You go to the market.
You flood the market.
I show up with my managu in my little car, and everyone scrambles for my managu. Jeff, when it comes to end month, or 15th, 20th of the month, you need to understand the psychology of your client. I sell more spinach between the 1st and the 7th than I do between 15th and 30th.
Why?
Spinach is taken as a luxury item. And you buy more spinach once you have a few coins in your pocket. But since spinach are going to shrink, you buy more sukuma wikis. But when it's payday, people want to treat themselves, and treating themselves is eating more spinach. So when it's 15th, 20th, when they are a bit broke, they can opt not to have this, the capsicums and the tomatoes, but they must have sukuma wikis in the ugali. You cannot say, I will have ugali and tomatoes tonight, or ugali and capsicums for dinner.
No.
You cannot, but you must have a vegetable. Now, people are getting to broccoli and cauliflower farming. I did that.
You did that too?
I've tried everything. I don't know, apart from snail and snake farming. I've tried broccolis and cauliflower. But then you need to map your market. If you live in a cosmopolitan area, or your market is more cosmopolitan, then they could accept. I cannot sell capsicums, broccolis and cauliflowers in Nyeri. They may not be aware of that. I'm not saying my Nyeri people don't know, but that's not what they've grown up eating. In my Togoto market, I supply more of managu, more sukuma wiki and spinach than managu. But I go a few kilometers to Kawangware.
It's managu land.
Because you've got the Luyas, you've got the Kisis, you've got so many tribes in Kawangware than in Kikuyu town.
So know your market.
You gotta know your market. You gotta know when they buy what more. And they will opt out your capsicums and tomatoes when they're broke. That'll be the last thing they will edit. You can have ugali and steamed sukuma wiki and minus the onions and minus the tomatoes.
And you're okay.
And you're okay, but you must have a vegetable. Your cauliflower and your broccoli, I took them to the market. This Mama Mboga asked me, my client like, no, this is the 3rd year. She asked me, what is this thing that looks like a brain? You know, the way the cauliflower and the broccoli look like? What is this thing looks like a human brain? She's never seen it, but she's been selling vegetables for years. So don't farm what you like eating, because I love eating broccoli. I love eating cauliflower. I love. But that doesn't mean that my market wants or likes them. If I go to Runa, they will buy. If I go to you people, you, my fine thank yous, you're going to eat them. My people don't know broccolis and cauliflower. So don't farm what you like. I was farming strawberries because I love strawberries.
Right.
But people are not going to eat
ugali and strawberries. Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Caleb, I want to talk more about that, because you've made such valid points here. People get into farming. It's a sexy thing. I'm going to be rich one day, hopefully. But they have no clue. Is there an institution? Do you go to Google? Where should people go? Or is it like you, trial and error? Because you did quail as well.
I'm an RQF.
Which is?
Recovering quail farmer. Oh yeah.
Okay, let's take a break, talk about that. What's your Twitter handle?
At Caleb Karuga.
Yeah, I know you tweet a lot, don't you? Farming stuff.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I irritate people.
It's okay.
Yeah.
At Caleb Karuga, at Koinange Jeff, the hashtag.
Ukulima sio shamba.
I like that. Ukulima sio ushamba.
You know?
Thank you for that hashtag.
Good.
Jeff Koinange live on the road. Where's this place?
This is Thika.
We're still in Thika?
Yeah, we still.
Okay, because I was saying off the Garissa Highway.
You can call it that.
That too.
Yeah.
Jeff Koinange live on the road in Thika off the Garissa Highway. Takes a break. I want to talk about these later on. You got to show us around.
No problem.
We'll be back in a moment.